File Infector Virus. File infector viruses are like the common cold of the computer world. They attach themselves to executable files. These are the files that launch your programs, such as .exe files on Windows. Imagine every time you run your favorite game or application, unknowingly, you also run a tiny hidden program that could harm your computer. That's exactly what a file infector does. When you activate the host program, the virus becomes active too. It can then replicate and attach itself to other executable files, spreading across your system. What makes file infector viruses particularly dangerous is their ability to spread rapidly whenever you run infected programs. They can lead to slowdowns, data loss, or even take control of your computer to perform malicious tasks. Macro virus. Macro viruses are a sneaky bunch. They hide in plain sight within documents created in programs like Microsoft Word or Excel, which support powerful scripting capabilities called macros. These macros are meant to automate repetitive tasks within documents, but they can also be used for malicious intent. When you open a document containing a macro virus, it executes a set of predefined commands that can infect your computer. These viruses can replicate themselves and spread to other documents, leading to a variety of disruptive behaviors, from creating, modifying, or deleting files, to sending out infected documents via your email, potentially spreading to every contact you have.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Boot sector virus. The boot sector of your computer is the part that kicks into action when you turn on your machine. It tells your computer how to boot up and load the operating system. A boot sector virus is particularly menacing because it infects this crucial part of your computer. Typically transmitted through infected removable drives like USBs, once it lodges in the boot sector, it loads into the computer's memory upon startup and before most antivirus programs have a chance to detect it. From there, it can take control of your computer, spread to other drives, and interfere with the normal boot process, making your computer behave erratically or even preventing it from booting up at all. Polymorphic Virus. Polymorphic viruses are the chameleons of the virus world. They can change their appearance every time they infect a new system. This ability to mutate their code with each replication attempt makes them particularly hard to detect and remove because they can appear as a completely new virus each time. Antivirus software typically works by recognizing patterns of known viruses, but with polymorphic viruses, these patterns constantly change. This makes it essential for antivirus programs to have robust detection algorithms that don't rely solely on known signatures but can detect anomalous behaviors typical of viruses. Metamorphic Virus. Metamorphic viruses take the concept of disguise to the next level. Unlike polymorphic viruses that change some parts of their code, metamorphic viruses rewrite their own code entirely when they move to a new system. This means they effectively become a new virus each time they infect a new machine, making detection incredibly difficult. They can mimic non-malicious files so well that they blend in seamlessly, bypassing many conventional security measures. Dealing with metamorphic viruses requires advanced heuristic detection strategies from antivirus programs, which analyze behaviors rather than code signatures. Resident Virus. Resident viruses embed themselves in the memory of your computer, a strategic position that allows them to operate quietly and efficiently. By residing in the memory, these viruses can intercept and manipulate actions performed by the system, such as opening, closing, saving, or copying files. This allows them to infect any file that is accessed on the computer, making them particularly virulent and difficult to eradicate. They can operate independently of the original file that delivered them, continuing to spread and infect long after the initial vector is gone. Combating resident viruses often requires sophisticated antivirus approaches that monitor memory operations as well as file actions. Non-resident virus. Non-resident viruses take a hit-and-run approach to infection. Unlike their resident counterparts, they do not embed themselves in a computer's memory. Instead, they act more like opportunistic thieves. When a non-resident virus finds a host file, it quickly infects it, then moves on to the next available target without lingering in the system's memory. This method allows them to be less detectable because they don't continuously operate from within the system. However, their lack of a constant presence doesn't mean they are less dangerous. Each time an infected file is executed, the virus activates, infects other executable files, and then continues to propagate whenever these files are run. Their transient nature can sometimes make them harder to track as they don't leave as obvious a footprint in the system's operations. Multipartite Virus. Imagine a virus that can attack you in multiple ways at once. That's a multipartite virus. These viruses are versatile and dangerous because they combine the characteristics of both boot sector viruses and file infector viruses. This dual capability allows them to spread and infect systems through more than one method. For example, a multipartite virus might start by infecting the boot sector, which will subsequently affect the system each time it starts up. Simultaneously, it can infect executable files, spreading further each time those files are run. This multi-pronged strategy makes multipartite viruses particularly virulent and challenging to remove because they can reinfect a system in various ways, even if one infection vector is cleaned. Browser Hijacker. Browser hijackers are like unwanted tour guides for your internet browsing. They take control of your web browser settings without your permission, redirecting you to websites you never intended to visit. Often, these redirects lead to advertising sites or, worse, phishing sites designed to steal personal information. Browser hijackers can change your homepage, default search engine, and even inject unwanted ads into your browser. They not only disrupt your browsing experience but also pose significant privacy and security risks. Removing these hijackers often requires resetting your browser settings or using specialized tools, as they can be stubbornly persistent and hide within browser extensions or settings. Direct Action Virus. A direct action virus acts like a guerrilla fighter, striking quickly and then hiding again. It activates only when the infected file is executed, at which point it replicates and infects other executable files in the directory. After carrying out its infection routine, it becomes dormant until another infected file is run. This type of virus does not embed itself in the system's memory or files that are not initially infected, making it less complex but still a nuisance. The direct action virus is straightforward in its infection approach but can cause significant disruption by spreading rapidly through file directories when triggered. Overwrite Virus. Overwrite viruses are the digital equivalent of a destructive vandal. They infect files and then proceed to overwrite the contents with their own data, destroying the original content in the process. This results in files that are either partially or completely useless. What makes overwrite viruses particularly devastating is that there's no way to repair the infected files. The only solution is to delete the infected files and restore them from backups, if available. Their straightforward but destructive payload can lead to significant data loss and operational disruptions. Rootkit Virus. Rootkit viruses are the ultimate infiltrators. They are designed to gain administrator-level access to a computer without being detected by the system or any installed antivirus programs. Once installed, rootkits can modify the operating system's core or other software with full system privileges. They can hide other malware, create backdoors, and obscure their presence in the presence of other harmful activities. Detecting and removing rootkits can be exceptionally challenging because they operate at the same security level as the system itself and can intercept and alter system calls that might reveal their presence. Trojan Horse. A Trojan horse, in the digital world, acts much like the wooden horse in the ancient story of Troy, appearing harmless or even beneficial while hiding harmful intent. Trojans masquerade as legitimate software, tricking users into downloading and executing them. Once activated, they can perform a range of malicious activities, from spying on user activities, spyware, to creating backdoors for other malware to enter. Unlike viruses, Trojans do not replicate by infecting other files, nor do they propagate by themselves. Instead, they rely on the deception of users. The danger of Trojans lies in their versatility and the depth of their infiltration. They can steal critical information, disrupt operations, or gain remote control over affected computers. The best defense against Trojans is caution and strong security practices, such as avoiding downloads from unverified sources and maintaining updated security software. Worm. Worms are a type of malware that have the unique ability to replicate themselves and spread independently across networks. Imagine a worm as a small software program that exploits vulnerabilities in operating systems and networks. Once it finds a way into one computer, it can automatically propagate itself to others connected to the same network, often without any user interaction. This makes worms incredibly virulent and capable of causing widespread damage in a short amount of time. They can consume bandwidth, overload systems, or serve as carriers for more destructive payloads like ransomware. The notorious examples of worms include a Love You and WannaCry, which caused significant disruptions globally. Defending against worms requires a combination of up-to-date security patches, firewalls, and vigilant monitoring of network traffic. Ransomware. Ransomware is a type of malware that kidnaps your data, holding it hostage until a ransom is paid. When a computer is infected with ransomware, the malware encrypts files on the affected system, making them inaccessible to the user. Victims are typically presented with a demand for payment, often in a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, in exchange for the decryption key required to unlock their data. The psychological and operational impact of ransomware can be devastating, as seen in numerous high-profile cases affecting healthcare systems, municipal governments, and large corporations. The best protection against ransomware includes regular backups of important data, cautious email practices to avoid phishing attacks, and robust security software. Once infected, the recommended practice is to avoid paying the ransom, as this does not guarantee data recovery and encourages future attacks. Logic bomb virus. Imagine a computer program that acts like a time bomb, waiting silently for the right moment to explode. This is essentially what a logic bomb virus does. It is a form of malware designed to trigger a malicious function when certain conditions are met, such as reaching a specific date, the deletion of a particular file, or a user logging off. Until these conditions are met, the logic bomb remains inactive, making it extremely stealthy and difficult to detect. The damage can range from deleting important files to corrupting data or even locking out users. Because of its conditional nature, it can be planted by someone with inside access, often sitting undetected until it's too late. Defending against logic bombs involves regular system audits, maintaining secure access controls, and monitoring for unusual activity that could indicate malicious schedules set to run. Adware. Adware may seem less menacing than other types of malware, but it can undermine your computer's performance and your online experience. Typically, Adware infiltrates your system bundled with free software or through deceptive links and begins bombarding you with advertisements. These ads can slow down your device and make your apps harder to use. More dangerously, Adware can serve as a gateway for other malicious software, especially if it tricks you into clicking on ads that lead to harmful sites or download more malware. Often, the line between annoying and harmful is thin in the world of Adware. Protection strategies include installing reputable ad blockers, carefully reading software installation agreements, and using security software that specifically targets and removes unwanted programs. Spyware. Spyware is like a digital spy that infiltrates your computer to monitor your activities without your consent. Its main goal is to steal sensitive information, passwords, credit card details, browsing habits, and send it back to cybercriminals. The insidious nature of spyware lies in its ability to hide and operate silently in the background, often without any noticeable effect on your system's performance, which makes it particularly difficult to detect and remove. The consequences of a spyware infection can be profound, ranging from identity theft to significant financial losses. To combat spyware, it's crucial to use comprehensive antivirus software, avoid clicking on suspicious links, and regularly update your system and software to close any security vulnerabilities. Backdoor Virus. A backdoor virus creates a secret pathway into your computer, bypassing all normal security measures. Think of it as a thief installing a hidden backdoor in your house. Once installed, attackers can remotely access your computer, execute commands, steal data, or drop additional malware into the system. This type of virus is particularly dangerous because it allows continuous, hidden access to the affected computer, which can be used for everything from spying to launching widespread network attacks. Keeping your system secure against backdoor viruses requires robust firewall protection, prompt application of security patches, and vigilance against opening attachments or links from unknown sources. Exploit virus. An exploit virus takes advantage of weaknesses in software or an operating system to carry out malicious activities. These vulnerabilities are like unlocked doors to your digital house. Once an exploit virus finds a vulnerability, it uses this gap to insert malicious code, allowing attackers to steal data, gain control of the system, or even recruit the computer into a botnet for large-scale attacks like distributing spam or executing denial-of-service attacks. The key to defending against exploit viruses is to keep your software and operating systems up to date with the latest security patches, use reputable security solutions, and maintain awareness of the latest security advisories and threats.